friends, this is the, yeah, don't look at my hair. This is the Miss Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead, and today we're repotting our tomatoes and herbs. Now what I've got here is a good premium mix of container soil because my herbs are going to be going into a flower box. And my tomatoes, I'm going to try them in the barrel that I tried to grow my beans in last year. Because I started my tomatoes late, I want to put them in the grow box. They need to get quite a bit bigger than this. So all I'm doing is I'm just putting some of this premium potting soil in here to the top. And I'm just going to take this little bit of polyester fabric that's holding this peat moss stuff together. And I'm going to make a hole in here and pop it right down to the almost to the bottom. Why? Because you'll notice when you have a baby tomato plant that there's hairs on the stem. And if you plant these halfway up, those hairs will turn to roots and you won't have such a leggy plant. So I'm burying this nice and deep. We don't want to disturb the peat moss too much because that's what's holding the root together. So we'll just build the soil up down to about 1 inch below the bottom leaves. And that way you'll have a really good root source when it begins to grow. So when I get all these tomatoes planted, I'll be back to do the herbs. So here are our 18 tomato plants, and folks, I wasn't thinking. I should have put some ground dried eggshell in the bottom of each pot, but I can do that when I plant them in the ground. There's 18 here. They don't look too happy, but they never do when they're first transplanted. Give them a couple of days and I'll do an update for you. I still have a couple of tomato plants here to do, and there's all my herbs, so let's get on those. Okay, so I ended up with 23 purple Cherokee tomato plants, and I hope they all grow. But here are our herbs, and I only have 7 pots. So I'm going to actually bunch some of these together because when you buy them at the nursery, there's always like a big clump of them. There's not just one plant. So let's take... These 3 pots are going to be basil. So I'm going to try and get them all into 3 pots. And again, I'm just peeling off very gently the mesh around and try not to wreck any babies. The mesh around the peat moss. And loosen, just as you're putting it into the pot, give it a little squeeze to loosen up the soil so that the roots will spread. And then I'm just going to go around those peat pots, the peat pellets they're in, and put in some of our container soil. Tamp it down so that the soil gets in around the peat, and giving it a little drink. Oh, that smells, even at this size. Oh, that smells so good. So there's our basil. These are the parsley, which I'm going to have a lot of, but they're overshadowing my oregano. Now, oregano can be pretty invasive, I've heard, but look how tiny and delicate they are. So let's do the oregano just to make sure they get out of these. These seeds were finer than grains of sand for the oregano. What have I got here? I got 2 pots for the oregano. So, again, we peel off. I may have overwatered these a little bit. There's one there. Rust it up a little bit. And I have coriander, but it says you can plant it directly outside, so I'm going to, oops, ow, I'm sorry, Mr. Oregano. As soon as Daddy has he's building me a planter, and he's building me a flower box for the rail. Mr. Oregano, give you a little bit of a drink just to settle your roots. Again, when they first are transplanted, they don't always look so chipper. So give them a day or two in the sunshine on the windowsill or in under your grow lights, and they will be amazing. Now I have 2 pots for all this parsley. Oh, no, I have a 3rd pot here. I can empty it and use. And my goodness, did they go crazy. They're already getting their little baby leaves, their little first set of leaves. I will be able to put 2 in each pot. So again, I will have at least 1 parsley, 1 oregano, and 1 basil to give away if they all take. Give it a squeeze, break up the roots, maybe they can wander around the pot a little bit. And that big long railing Papa built for me is going to be beautiful for a nice flower box for all my herbs. And then I can just walk out onto the deck and pick what I need or cut what I need. Cutting's actually better than picking because it's a clean cut. Helps them heal faster. And there we go. $23 purple Cherokee. Sad, I know, but they've got time. 3 pots of basil, 2 of oregano, and 3 of parsley. Yay! I have repotted my tomatoes and herbs, and they'll be going out in the grow box, and I'll show you it later. This is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, herbs and tomatoes, 1 step closer to going in the garden. Take care, God bless.